Like, how did it magically become night? Well, I'm just thinking to myself, well, that's Gotham. Like, the sun sets very fast.
That's just what happens,
right?
Yeah.
It's just because Nolan did say nobody will care. And many directors have said that, right? They just think, whatever, it's fine. And if you listen to commentaries, you're like, you see that in the background? No one noticed it. So when you watch it, though, you're like, okay, so he went into this tunnel, and the sun's all the way up. He goes out, and the sun's down. This must mean this is another world where the sun does not behave in gravity and the moon does not behave that way. So,
well, you gotta think,
I want
too.
it to be that way.
Yeah,
right?
tell me why, Mark. Tell me why.
Well, it ain't nothing, but like it doesn't heartbreak me, right? It just and it ain't a mistake because he did it on purpose. So when people said, "Tell me why," he just said, "Because I wanted it that way."
I never want to hear you say that, Mark.
Don't want to hear. Don't want to hear you. So for me, I like doing the math around that. People are like, well, they just did it because of that. So in this one, if those flags are messed around, this is a time loop scenario. It is.
It's got to be. There's no way it's not. But just because this opens up a parallel universe, though, because if they're in a time loop, that means there's an alternate timeline with the other shark. So once this happened, it threw the world into a flux, which allowed Deep Blue Sea 3 to happen. And Bella and the ravaging baby sharks. I was going to say it allowed the baby sharks to come into fruition.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I do love that above them, Lars from Metallica is just double bassing the drums, playing with them. It's like the Doof Warrior from Mad Max, just following them around, playing drums. But it's a time loop. It has to be because that's the way.
My boring, serious, not fun answer is it's not a continuity error. There's more flags. The red flag next to him is one that the guy's already changed. Then they head further down the beach and he changes the next one. That's my incredibly boring. No one wants to hear it answer.
I don't know because it's as we face them, the flag is on the left. As they get up and walk away, the flag is on the right.
But it's further down the beach. They've gone further down the beach towards the water. So if the lifeguard's coming along from their right, from the left screen left, then he's going on orbit one. He's done that one. He's now here. Because as they pass it, he gets to it and switches it over. Which the red flag means danger, don't go swimming. So he's not doing his job. Like people just walked past him and he's put a flag in saying you shouldn't go swimming. As people head off into the water to go swimming, he should be saying, "Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. No, red flag." And what does he know? How do they know there's sharks there? I feel like if there were sharks there, someone should be screaming sharks. What is a red flag for?
I thought the red flag was like, hey, we need to have our mandatory medal moment. And then, because you got to think, as soon as he hits it in the sand, it kicks in.
Because a red flag means no swimming, high hazard. Whereas green is safe to swim or low hazard.
Wow. Now I can see that this world is falling apart.
So he's just changing it for the hell of it. He just likes chaos.
Whoa. Yeah, from the way it used to be. Yeah.
I don't know if everything we're saying is a reference to a song or not now. It's just my mind is melted.
I don't know, but it's making me smile.
Deep down inside of me, no matter the distance, I want you to know that I think that lifeguard, I think it's a parallel universe.
He's just putting the flag there to pay his bills.
You know what? I don't think it's going to get better than that one.
I like the idea, though, that he's just a manufacturer of chaos. His lifeguard. The Dark Knight. He just wants people dead.
He just wants to watch the world burn. Yeah.
Or get eaten by sharks.
Can we do that? That is his fire, his one desire, is to see the world burn. Oh man. I like it. That's why. So yes, I think he's just messing with people. That's what it is. He's an agent of chaos. He loves hearing double bass solos from Lars, and he loves baby ravaging gangs. And he doesn't like those surfers because earlier one of them walked up and was like, "Hey pal, can we stay here?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, chief." But he held on to that pal.
It was a hard pal.
So, speaking of continuity, the shark that we see a close-up of has a scarred face. It has,
Bella.
but it's not Bella. Bella is dead. We saw Bella get hit in the mouth with 2 flares.
No, Bella is alive. Bella got stuck in the fishing nets in Deep Blue Sea 3.
Spoilers.
It's been a what? I'll have to take your word for it. I'll assume you're right. I can't remember. But I thought it was better.
Sorry, Nick.
She's not a big part of Deep Blue Sea 3, Nick. It's not that's not much of a spoiler. That's a spoiler for events between films.
That's a double spoiler.
We just double spoiled. And pay attention to the twist at the end. It's very Shyamalan.
Oh, yeah.
And the third one I wrecked for you.
The human character is actually a shark. Oh, my word. We never saw that coming.
This is just... I'm amazed right now at what you guys are doing.
It turns out that... Never mind. I got nothing. I got ain't nothing but... That was ain't nothing but a mistake, what I just tried to say.
That's the hardest thing. Hey, you know what? Jumping back to Wild Wild West, that was number 43 on the charts, while Summer Girls was number 3.
I do want to say, I worked in a movie theater. I do want to say, why would I want to say that? But I was working in a theater when all these movies came out, so I had to listen to Wild Wild West by Lamos. We had that on a CD on a loop for like 3 months, just playing over and over. So I got very familiar with By Lamos, because I think they forgot to send us a new CD, or our manager just liked that certain CD. No, I'm not playing the new one. Because remember Movie Tunes when you're going to the bathroom, like the latest hit by the.
Is that the song where he goes Bailamo?
Yeah,
dude.
Okay, I got
it.
Fine.
Singing it earlier.
Sorry, it's
that was in the soundtrack for some movie. Yeah, and they would just play. They would play it on a loop in the theater I worked at.
When the river takes you over Bailamo. Yeah, okay, it's in my head.
Yeah,
good.
And the dating song from ICP. I don't know why that was on that soundtrack, but
that is okay. I was not expecting that one.
So either way,
really ICP like that ICP?
No. I'm just being a joker. I'm all talked up on Fago.
So I like that the shark. The shark isn't just an unscathed shark. It's been beaten up. It's got some scarring. It's got some burns to it. So I appreciate that little detail, which I haven't seen the first 9 times I saw this film, but I've seen it this 10th one.
Mark is just so down with the clown, and it's really blowing my mind right now.
I used to wear Jinkos. Come on now.
I mean, I bet Jay has. I feel like all 3 of us here have worn.
I don't know what they are.
Very large shorts.
Very large shorts.
It's like you're wearing 2 wind tunnels.
Oh, no. I am looking at them, but that is. We have like boot cut jeans I've worn, but not to this extent.
Oh.
No, these are clothes that go beyond the practical, and I live in the practical clothing realm.
All right, so Jay, what else you got for us? Do you have anything to get us on track here, or should we just say our 2 favorite moments of the movie?
Well, the 2 actors that we see here, the teenage boy and teenage girls are credited are Kellen Gertz and Dominique Mabille. They've both done very little else, but now we've said their names, we can move on, I guess. They both are on Instagram. If you want to follow them, it's basically their names. Yeah, but they haven't done a great deal other than modelling and hanging out with friends, it seems. So good for them. But this wasn't the film that kickstarted their careers. It seems it was the most recent thing that both of them Kelton Gertz, the most recent thing, and Dominique Mabille has been in an episode of The Devil Speaks, and an episode of Ice. 2 TV shows I've never heard of, but good for her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought we should mention them before we end the chapter, so mention them. And just go back through and watching the film again. I noticed something we didn't talk about last week. I had a lot to talk about in last week's show, and I kind of annoyed we missed out on this one thing where they end. We kind of get a screen wrap for Misty, Trent, and Aaron with them saying, it blew up, just like in the movies. Just like in the movies. And at the start, in Misty's introduction to her seminar, she says that the shark attacks on beaches is pure fiction perpetuated by Hollywood. And the film ends with her saying, just like in the movies. So at the start, she's saying life isn't like the films. At the end, she's saying it is. What's going on?
Whoa. I mean, the explosion was just like in the movies.
Yeah.
But shark attacks that were non-genetically modified to prevent Skynet from destroying the world, that's perpetuated, would you say?
Yes, I agree with that. I just feel like it was odd bookends for her character to change her mind about, to say like contrasting statements about different things, granted, but it feels like an odd through line that's not mentioned any time in between those two lines of dialogue.
They should have just added, like, when he's welding, she should have just been like, just like in the movies.
Well, in the movies, they tend to wear sleeves when they weld. This isn't like the movies at all.
There's a lot of cavalier welding in movies, though.
Yes.
Have any of y'all ever welded?
Not a lot, a little bit. I've done more
I
soldering than
watched
welding.
it happen.
It's soldering is terrifying, and welding's like the granddaddy of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
I would never I would never sleeveless weld.
No. I don't sleeveless solder. No.
What about
I do
Dremel?
that.
Can you sleevelessly Dremel?
I have sleeveless dremeled.
Okay.
I'll admit, sleeveless dremeling.
You got any pictures of that? Picture didn't happen, huh?
That's on my OnlyFans, I'm afraid, Nick.
He just unloads an album on you.
And, I've laid a patio wearing flip-flops, if that's any help. I have photos of that.
Hey, yeah, send them.
It will not be on our Instagram. So what's everyone's favourite death in the film? I counted 10 if you count the shark at the end and Achilles blowing up. I counted 10 deaths. But, 8 human deaths. We got any standouts, any favourites or anyone?
It's got to be Durant because he loves it. He's like, my sharks are incredible. This shark just jumped 30 feet out of the air with me in its mouth.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I don't have to worry about Skynet. And I made amazing sharks.
He's the only one who dies happy. He dies amazed at the thing that's killing him.
Yeah, I did
proud.
this. I did this. Oh, yeah, that's my favorite.
Nick, you got a standout?
I'm trying to find the scene in the moment, but it's when dude just gets bit in half. He's literally leaning over the wet pool.
Oh, Mike.
Obviously, it's a wet pool.
Mike Chatello. They do keep calling it the wet pool. So yeah, that's one of my favorites, just because we talked about it on that
He just
episode.
gets halved. It's crazy.
Yeah, he gets the precision required for that shark bite, that death is incredible.
Precision chomping.
Yeah, that's the point where Durant became like it's so amazed at his sharks, at how precise they worked out all of the trajectory and everything involved in that jump. It's like, oh, his sharks are amazing! It took his head clean off.
I mean, just snap of a fingers, it's gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As for me, I really like Daniel's death on the ladder, just because of how ridiculous it is. Of where he's just still climbing despite not having a lower half. And he gets so high up on that ladder, and they pull him out, and it's just the top half. And
Did he
his
feel the
guts pouring
sharks
out.
biting through his spine?
I still like my theory of they just kept on nipping at him, nipping a little bit, and then it's only when Aaron and Trent pull him out that's what breaks him in half. That is still my theory. I'm sticking with it. He's perforated.
They bit through his spine.
They bit through his spine. Yeah.
That's a tough bite. That's a lot of bone. That's a thick bone. It's not thin.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a great death because it means he's still climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
And plus he had it coming for stealing 7 months worth of research.
That's true. And then Rowan Gary's death at the start, one of the shark finners, when he has all his limbs bitten off, is a great and fair death for him to have.
Poetic.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Kwame goes quick, and then I like that Rowan Gary kind of has to suffer a little bit.
Yeah. He just sinks limbless.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, man, Tamer Berjak has had a heck of a career dying in movies. Bloodshot, Dread, Tomb Raider, Rogue, Brothers Grimsby, probably. I mean, he just keeps getting killed in movies. I love it. I wonder if he died in Raised by Wolves. Black Sails, I'm probably sure he died. He was a stunt performer in 28 episodes of Black Sails. He died 8 times.
Did he die in Bloodshot? Did you say?
Yeah, he gets. Well, yeah, in the very beginning he gets killed, and he gets lines in that movie too.
My word. He has lines in Rogue too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I bet. Oh, he's an atheist soldier in Raised by Wolves. He dies. Rogue. Yep, dies.
Yeah.
Last Days American Crime. Dies.
Scorpion King, Book of Souls. Haven't seen.
Yeah, he's King Mentep. Of course he dies.
Okay.
Tomb Raider. If you have, oh man, he's had a great career dying. I want a supercut. Someone do it, or not.
No, do it. Someone do it.
Get out there right now. Hit pause.
No, you can keep listening.
Don't
listen to Nick.
I'm gonna rep Zanandi here when I talk about my favorite moment of the movie, other than Joy Swim. But I'm just gonna say it's just the nibbling of Aaron's shoes. Twice he gets his shoes nibbled. It's amazing.
It's a good subplot of the film. Is the shark fancying Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Nick? You got a favourite moment?
maybe because we talked about it and I watched